Okay, more jewelry. I'll sit back now and kind of critique what it is. Again, it's a quick sketch. You're trying to learn to draw fast and not really criticize yourself too much. Because if you're at a convention and somebody asks you to do it, you got like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, maybe 50 minutes to do the drawing. And you can't spend all day on it because you got to get to the next one. There's a cheekbone that made that look a little bit better. I will go in and refine these. But even in this, you know, the 3/4 view of the face, I know certain proportions, you know, the line down the middle, nose is halfway, half that, half between here and here. I mean, these things are stuff I already know, so I got a grid of things in my head already, even perspective. I know that this is, you know, the horizon line is about here, so these things are up and below the horizon line. And now I'm gonna, I don't know if I want to do a book now. What I think I'll do is have like floating skulls, a couple of skulls floating, just to, you know, because skulls always work. When in doubt, throw a skull in there, especially if you're doing creepy stuff. And I know basically how the skull looks at that angle. And then we'll do another one that's kind of looking down. So, you know, more of the head and just a little bit of the teeth here and the, or that's called a ziggurat bone or whatever. I don't know all these things exactly, but I know kind of where they're at. And that again is style. You know, you don't got to be precise. You just got to sort of know what's what, and then you make it what you want. I'm not a big fan of total precision. I like things to be mistakes and oddities to happen. So now we're going to get a little flow of the cape. Let's see if we can make this move a little bit more. This is coming up. I'll break some there because of, again, the paper limit. I'm kind of just curving myself to what is right there. I don't want to go off the page. Right now we'll work on the anatomy here, get the lat pulling in, tricep. And you got to know these basically. You know, forearm muscles. You can even add muscles if you want. Jack Kirby used to do that all the time. As long as it fits within your style, that's fine. But you got to make sure that it works. Then we'll get some more. We'll get her hair flowing a little bit over her body here and make it wild. We'll put some rune stones flying about, cross it over here. And there'll be like maybe a smoke that will come up and kind of flare into her. And that opposes this open curve right here, and this, you know, pushes right here, so you got a nice little interplay. This curve here plays against this curve, and you got this roundness that pulls you in and moves you out, and then you got this kind of curve right here, so there's a nice circular movement. And not really thinking about composition, it's going to show up. No matter what picture you do, compositional lines will show up. And you just find them and use them. I mean, you can actually lay the lines down first, like say if I want to do, you know, a triangle here. Before I even start this, I could lay a triangle, a rectangle, and then think about it, but that's kind of tough. It's a tough abstract to deal with right away. The circle is the best, easiest way. If I just drew a big circle right here and then I placed everything along the circle, it would work. But yeah, let's do a little finger out there. Makes it, you know, kind of nice. Actually, let's put the other finger in front. So these, and let's rework this. So this is coming at you. Now foreshortening isn't, it's tough, but it isn't totally tough. You just have to be able to know how much of something you have to see. And if we break that down into cylinders like I did, you know, you're just putting them on top of each other. And then I know I'm going to see more of those fingers, so I pull that out a little bit more. And then I know that there's a, you know, this palm ridge right here, or this part of the fingers, so this comes up here. And again, I don't know what it's called. So, and then we get the palm muscles, these two kind of in here. And now we gotta get that last finger in there. And this should swing like this, but it's not. So I gotta correct that. That sucks. I might have to switch gears here and throw the other finger on this end. That's a little bit better. Alright, let's put a little design into this thing. Simple jewelry design there. This one I'll keep. Maybe put some cuts into that. Then we'll go back to this again, and that way you get a rhythm of design with the jewelry. Okay, let's try to work on the face. Now the face is something that, again, we got to think female, so there's going to be less lines than like a man. Man will have these hard cut lines in them, but a female has to be a lot smoother to make it look sensual. Alright, I'm not doing the face, I'm just thinking about it first before I do it. So I'm doing the demon, little winged dragon up here on her head. And again, this kind of is just a mess over here, but I don't really care because it's a sketch. Now that I said I don't care, I do care. So let's widen that out a little bit to match this up a little bit. That's a little bit better. And now we might have to play with the headdress to kind of match the weight that that's got to carry. So we'll give her a nose ridge there. Alright, let's try getting this eye down. We'll give her kind of a sinister eyebrows. Stick them up. And again, she's creating a spell, so her eyes are going to be wide. Now, you have a little bit of what you need to know about the eye. You have this muscle up above it. You have the eye lid. And you have the cheek. And then the eye sits in a socket, so you have to be aware that there's a socket there. And then the nose comes out to a tip. And we're making her look a little bit crazy. Again, there's going to be a socket here. Eyelid, and then we have that muscle here again. A little bit of that sunkenness there. And of course I'll be erasing a lot of this, but it gives me we'll give her a nice earring. Full earring. This is starting to look a little odd. This looks high for some reason. Let's see if I can keep it. I might have to erase that eye and bring it over or something. But I might be able to save it. Let's see, ear. And then let's make the mouth a little bit more defined and expressive. We'll keep that the teeth, and that the teeth. We'll bring this bottom lip out a little bit to give her a little bit of a scream effect. And get her chin down a little bit. Let's see if we can save that. No, it's not bad. My first sketch. Now, if I was really going into this drawing as a real something I'd work on, I would probably rework this eye. Let's see, let's bring that right about there. Let's see if that helped it any. Socket, muscle. That's not terrible. That worked a little bit better. We'll get some hair in here just to forget about the face for a second. Get some. Let's put some horns in this mask thing behind these. And let's put something coming. I want to keep that. Kind of by our ears. And yes, we have the face paint. Let's just keep it a line across here. Some shading, some tenseness in her throat, and what she's doing. Get the hair. Let's get some beads in here. Let's put a little bit more design to these earrings. And more beads. Larger. And as you see, doing this, I'm understanding that this is going away from what we're seeing, and so it goes up on the body and rolls with the body. And we'll get the bones in here. And again, as it starts to roll, it might fall into each other. And then we'll put a little bone head right here of some sort. Some kind of weird little animal. Typical jungle stuff. Alright. Let's see if this goes this. This will cut down. Let the hair go over it. Got a little, just something to, a little circle here, a stud of some sort to let me know that that's where that is. And then we'll get some muscle definition in here. But again, you don't want to put a whole hell of a lot of definition because it is a woman, but she's in a moment of action in a way. So there's going to be stress in things. There's going to be stress in her motion and her body. And then we could actually even put a vein through her neck showing the kind of the screaming. And we might be able to pull out her hair a little bit like this. Just to get over and to pass that arm. Okay, this finger's fucked up. This needs to come out less. Put a ring on here, just a quick ring. We'll put larger bracelets on this arm with one that kind of looks like over there, so we get a certain amount of balance. We can maybe make some design on this and make some design on that. So this part of the hand. Muscle right there. And we go into the forearm. Again, you have to know a little bit what you see. You have to be able to look at objects, and you have to be able to look and define what you're seeing in your own head. And again, and it's a drawing. I'm not even thinking reality. I'm just thinking that it's a form of reality, that it's a person, of course, but that's the beauty of drawing, that you don't have the exactness, the skill of exactness, and I don't want that. I like style to my work. A little shading there, get some weight on these. Now we get to a certain amount of sexuality, her breasts, her hips. Gotta make these look nice. That's what drawing women's all about, is making sexy women. And let's see how that looks. Because there's going to be weight at the bottom, a curve. And then as you're looking at it, this one's going to flatten out a little bit more. The other one, it's a little bit too wide. It's probably too low a little bit. Again, it's a sketch. But if I know that, if I know I'm doing something wrong and I don't change it, I still know that, for that sketch it was wrong. It could have been fixed different, but, we'll see. Now we got the rib cage, and this usually sits most of the time pretty tight up underneath the breast. Yeah, a couple of rib. I'm giving some ribs because as she stretches and screams, her body's contracting, at least in my mind. So I'm doing a little bit of tenseness here to give it, each area has a little bit of stress. Actually, I might make her eyes look down more so, supposedly at these. Okay, we're going to give her stomach. Now, I'm not going to put a lot of stomach muscles on there, so we'll just try to keep it softer. Just fill in some stuff here, so cross this over just to break that plane up. Okay, get her in her belt. I'll have these to hold her cloth right here, or whatever you want to make right here. And we'll make a little blank pattern idea. Go through there. Okay. Skulls. We'll go back to the skulls here. Try to make them look a little creepy. Not so cartoonish as they just were. Red line doesn't work. Let's angle that a little bit more. Let's bring that down. Gonna have that arch. And just for the fun of it, because I like them, we're going to put fangs. I like putting fangs on a lot of things. Teeth. Now again, I'm not worried about the number of teeth. There's a certain, maybe I should put 4 here in the front than the fangs, but 3 is kind of okay. No one's counting your teeth, you know. Like, oh my God, you need all 36 or whatever. No. And there's the socket. Might be able to fix that in the inks. Alright, let's get these out of the way. Again, I'm doing a sketch and I'm not really thinking that I need all sorts of diverse shapes. You can think that. You can just think, you know, I'm not going to draw the same shape over and over. You know, you can curve one. Then you can make one more rounder, which is fine. You know, a lot of times I don't think like that. And then, well, again, this is the one that's looking down. So I know that there's a certain plane right here that the eye would sit in. And this comes through just repetition of drawing these things, heads, so you can see it going down. And get the nose in there, squishing it up a little bit. I can see this stuff in my head, how much of the teeth I should see and how much of the nose I should see. And again, it's fast. This is where you're learning it. You're learning just to think it fast, put it down fast, and you go, oh, that was a nice sketch, maybe, you know. All right, let's get the smoke. We'll put a little bit more because it's just to design it up. We'll put another streaming little playful smoke flying around. They all go into this one. It curves in. It flows out, gets a little bit bigger to fit into this, and then we'll pull one out, let it trail off. Alright, now this probably needs to come out a little bit because I didn't like the way this straight edge played against this curve. So with that curve here, I wanted to bring it out a little bit so it has a little bit more balanced form, compositional rhythm going over it. Now probably most of this will be black, so this stuff will stand out when I ink it. Alright, we'll put a little textures here. And we'll put a little like texture of cinders burning up. And I don't like this anymore, so what we're going to do is pull this out and down. Just bring that so it's a little bit tighter along that line. That was just too, it looked like it was pushed up against there. That's a little bit better. Alright. Let's get back to her hips and her butt. We'll give her some ass back there. I'm thinking instead of a cloth, I'm going to put some jewelry here of some sort, some hanging jewelry. And this is something I've done over and over and over again, this kind of design, so this is nothing new to me. I just like the way it looks. And actually, I think I'll put a cloth underneath that. And so we're getting to a point now within a sketch. If I was really doing a drawing, I'd work all this out. It's getting to be a point now where I could probably start inking it and know what the hell I'm doing. And we'll get her leg in here. So I won't be showing her feet. I'll put a couple bracelets down here to kind of give me a stopping point. And maybe some of her muscle. Shadow. And let's put something else hanging right here because I don't like this, just this open area. We'll match it over here. And do I want to put another something here just to arrowhead. And just some designs to break up planes. And now I'm thinking of maybe bringing this leg out just a little bit over to here instead of together. I'll use that part. That's a little bit better. Makes it just standing there instead of. Okay, it's fast, it's loose, and it doesn't look terrible. But then remember, it's only a sketch and you're just practicing. You're practicing speed, you're practicing how fast can you think, how fast can you put it down, and don't worry about it. Most of the time you're going to go, well, it stinks. Okay, well, it stinks, but you practiced. Let's put a little design here. Okay, I think I can ink.